Everyone, I don't know about you, but I've had quite a week. One of those weeks. But we keep going because what else are we going to do? We have to stay on path, it's the mission. And no, I'm not even talking about the American politics. Like, I've disconnected from that a very long time ago. I have better things to do in my life than to pay attention to nonsense like politics. Um, but hey, if it's important to you, I get it. It's just like I have things that are better to do for me. I have better things to do with my life, things that I consider better. My mission. And I'm going to start this video today by introducing a concept, which is homeostasis. Why? Because this is a word that I used a lot, probably a bit too much, in Jeff Mauer's podcast, in Jeff and Mauer's podcast, while speaking to Jeff Reynolds last week. And that tends to happen also when I get a little nervous, because I know that I don't look or seem nervous, I think, when I interview for these podcasts, but of course that I am. Anyway, and so homeostasis is any self-regulating process by which any living organism or living system tends to maintain its balance, its stability, while adjusting to the conditions that allow it that are best for its survival. So a planet is supposed to have homeostasis. Any living system, your body is supposed to be homeostatic. It's supposed to have a certain kind of balance, right? And if homeostasis is successful, life continues. And if it's unsuccessful, it usually results in disaster or in the death of that organism, right? This is a term borrowed by biology that I personally like to use a lot. I've used it in this paper that I wrote and published a while ago about environmental integration and our relationship with the environment and with the earth, and how we can best make use of the earth's resources through optimizing resource management and through returning to nature as opposed to detaching ourselves to it. Now, this concept of this word of homeostasis, this term, again, it's borrowed from biology. It's from the Greek word homoios, which means like, plus the English stasis, which then gave way to this modern Latin term, not ancient Latin, but modern Latin term, homeostasis. And this idea that homeostatic balance is conditional to the optimization of life is not new. It's been around, and especially to the optimization of life on this planet is not new. The term, we can trace the usage of the term within that context back to the early 1970s, with the advent of environmental philosophy, also known as environmental ethics or environmental humanism or environmental ecology. Okay. Now, physics comes into it then. Physics comes into it with another term that is entropy. Now, entropy is chaos. And what happened is that entropy is a measure of disorder or randomness, okay? And what happened is that also in 1970, and this is what's really fascinating to me, is that in the 1970s, while the earth sciences are speaking of things of homeostasis, and philosophy is speaking of things as like homeostasis. In 1970, precisely, this gentleman called Jacob Bekenstein was an Israeli physicist that studied in Princeton, was at the time, studying in Princeton, and made this audacious suggestion that black holes could, in all probability, have entropy, So entropy is basically a fully quantitative quantum mechanical process that precisely measures the overall disorder of a physical system, the overall level of randomness and disorder that there could be to a physical system. Some of you will say that it's the direct opposite of homeostasis. So Selma, shouldn't a living organism be homeostatic, have some sort of balance? And then physics comes with entropy, saying, but living organisms can also have chaos and unpredictability in it, right? Well, Jacob Bekenstein said that. He basically put forward the idea that black holes might have entropy, like I said, and actually not just a little, but a huge amount of it. He was motivated, Bekenstein, he was motivated by this second law of thermodynamics, which declares that the entropy of a system always increases, and that everything has entropy, right? A couple of physicists use the example of the filled up bathtub. So if you picture a bathtub that is completely filled up with water, at a first glance, it looks very balanced and organized. You have the object that is the bathtub, and then you have the volume of water inside the bathtub. But if you are to look into it with further detail, and with the due objects that you need in order to look into the molecules that compose the water and everything, you'll understand that there's a lot more to it than just the water and the bathtub that we see. You have these molecules in the water. You have molecules and atoms, the atoms that make up the bathtub as well. I mean, so there is a degree of unpredictability, there is a degree of chaos, according to Bekenstein. And again, he based this off on the second law of thermodynamics that says that everything that has temperature has a degree of chaos and unpredictability. Now, what's interesting about this is that in 1974, a year after Bekenstein, and I'm sorry, I have to look at my notes because I didn't know about any of this before I myself had to research it for my book. I'm someone that comes from the social sciences. I didn't study this at university or anywhere in my life before. I had to write a book trying to make sense of my out-of-body experiences. And so I always have to have my notes with me because I am not a physicist. And so in order to remember everything that I have to tell you and make sure also that I am relaying the message with a certain degree of accuracy, I need to have my notes in front of me. I'm a professional, so I have my notes in front of me. As a teacher, as a lecturer, I always have to have my notes in front of me. So I don't care how, that's going to make me look like like a geek, but that's what I do. So in 1974, a year after Bekenstein's first paper on the matter, then Stephen Hawking himself published some radiation paper in which he actually ascertained that black holes radiate random particles exactly as though they have like a peak glow for a particular temperature that depends on their mass. So if black holes have a temperature, then they also have to have entropy. Again, thermodynamics dictating that black holes have to have entropy. So Hawking had also shown, and Hawking had even also shown before this, that the area of, and this part to me is what is the most interesting because I feel is the part that may most correlate or explain with my experiences or explain my experiences. Hawking before this had also shown, which is also something that influenced Bekenstein with his theory of black holes having entropy, is that Hawking had also shown prior that the area of the event horizon of a black hole always increases when in physical interaction with another object, like an asteroid or the surface gas of some nearby star. Whenever a black hole comes into contact with a nearby object, apparently its event horizon expands. The event horizon is the mouth of the black hole, right? You have, back when I started this channel or until a couple of videos ago, one of my introductory images was the one of a black hole, of a huge event horizon actually, then funneling down. And that's a black hole, the big mouth, the event horizon, then funneling down. And so Hawkins understood that whenever a black hole would be close enough to another object, whenever another object would get close enough, the event horizon would just expand as if almost to swallow it. And that is what happens in my experiences. When I see myself next to a black hole, sure enough, it does feel to me like the event horizon expands and allows me to fall through it, to fall into it. In this case, it would be my energy body and not my physical body. But you know that I've had experiences also that I've narrated on this channel, where in this other lifetime, future lifetime, it felt like I could be also physically traveling through what looked like black holes or wormholes or whatever that was specifically. So this is why I became interested in looking at the black hole entropy research. Any object that accretes into the black hole makes the event horizon expand. Hawking came to understand through his calculations. It makes the total area of the event horizon of the black hole just always increase. And to Bekenstein, greater total area suggested a link with greater total entropy as well. So this would be literally the black hole shaping itself around another object. And before Bekenstein and Hawking kind of agreeing on the same, we didn't realize, or the physicists didn't realize, that black holes did this. So who knows? There may be other things about black holes that we don't yet know, and it seems like everything is possible at this point when you don't exactly know the object after all, you know? This basically tells us that extreme gravitational collapse may not disintegrate matter when matter falls into the black hole. Alternatively, any matter, physical object that collapses into it may actually alter its physical system, the physical system of the entire black hole, just enough to adjust to it, hence allowing it to exit its gravitational pull on the other side with its full integrity. I mean, it's possible if black holes have this degree of entropy, because Bekenstein actually has come to realize, and now it's very much, it's very much verified theory, that black holes don't also have entropy, but they could very well have all the entropy in the universe. So what exactly do we know about black holes, you know? So this, I'm sorry, but this completely, to me at least, explains and corroborates and confirms my experiences to me. I'm not trying to prove anything to anyone. First, because I'm not a physicist, and second, because, as you know, that's not the vibration that I come to this channel with. I haven't created this channel. I haven't started sharing these experiences of mine, incurring, and in doing so, incurring on the risk of sounding like a total mental patient. With the goal of ever convincing anyone of anything. I'm literally just trying to make sense of my own experiences and sharing as I do so that other scientists looking at what I do, or lay people looking at what I do, can continue on that same research, and so as to open a dialogue, to open this conversation as well, so that we can actually get at what the science behind these out-of-body experiences that not only myself but so many other people have could be, right? And so let me just make sure that I haven't forgotten about anything. This could be in all probability, be possible. The fact that, we may not get spaghettified if we fall into a black hole. And if not our physical bodies, definitely not our energy bodies, according to my own personal experience. And you can take that for what it is, because in my own personal experiences, I've been spontaneously astral projecting out of my body for years, and having out-of-body experiences for years, where I see myself falling into black holes and coming out on the other side in some other dimension. So at least in my personal experiences, at least my energy body does not get spaghettified, does not disintegrate as a physical body is supposed to do, or was supposed to do, in accordance with all these theories around black holes that existed before Bekenstein and then Hawking's. So I don't know, I'm just trying to keep the discussion open. It may just be that we do disintegrate or not. What black hole entropy, what Bekenstein and black hole entropy are telling us is that we don't know, we can't say that for sure. We don't know for sure. We don't know. We just don't know. So if we don't know, this is when we keep the discussion open, and this is when we keep an open mind to what is actually possible, or what may or not actually be possible to do with the black hole or inside a black hole. Now, I can also add, in all fairness, that seldom with these experiences, it's not like I would come out on the other side of the black hole, because what I usually see in my experiences is that I actually see a black hole with two event horizons, and this is something else, because Hawking also says that if two black holes collide and combine in any of these processes, the total area of the event horizon of a black hole always increases. So what I usually see is my coming in through a black hole, coming in through an event horizon, going through the black hole, and then coming out into what seems like another event horizon. So these wormholes and things. So it seems to me, so when two, and apparently when two black holes collide, that's exactly what happens. In all fairness, I could say that in a lot of these experiences, I don't come out on the other side as the same person. In a lot of these experiences, I come out on the other side in some other dimension, being someone else doing something else, okay? Be it either a past lifetime, future lifetime, parallel lifetime, in some other dimension, whatever. They're all parallel in 5D anyway, because in 5D there's no time and all is happening at the same time all the time. So in all fairness, I could also add that, okay? But can we all just agree, physicists, that we don't know? And so being that we don't know, maybe we can start listening to the NDE people, the people who have near-death awareness experiences, also more commonly known as NDEs, near-death experiences, and people like myself who don't have to die in order to have the same type of experiences, simply out-of-body experiencers. And astral projectors alike. Maybe you could start listening to her, listening to us, scanning our brains, doing your job, being scientists. I don't know, I'm sorry. I may sound sometimes a little, if I may sound sometimes to you a little bitter about the fact that not enough research is being done around this, it's because I am. I must confess. And it's more frustration than anything else. It's more frustration than bitterness. And a slight degree of frustration also on myself for not having studied physics instead of archaeology, you know what I mean? So that I could be doing that research myself. But hey, it's never too late. I'm kind of doing it, even though I don't exactly have all the tools, but I do have all the books at my disposal. I do have all the bibliography and PDFs and papers and latest research at my disposal. And you too. So if you feel any curious about this, let's do it. Let's research. Let's not wait on the people that should potentially be doing it to do it, because they are all too busy not wanting to be branded crazy or whatever for daring to research on things that the current dogma that permeates most of mainstream science does not allow them to look into, so that they don't lose their grants and their thing, the capital behind academia, what we all already know, yada yada, blah blah. I don't want to be whining about it in every video, because I can stand whining and I wouldn't be able to stand listening to myself if I start doing that in every video. So let's just focus on what actually matters. So in my experience, two black holes did seem to merge in my experiences, where I see myself in the astral going through these black holes, because there were two event horizons, one at the start of my trip as an entrance, and the second one at the end of it as the exit, as I said before. And y'all can take this, wrap it up, take it to the bank, do whatever you want with it, ignore it, call me cuckoo. I don't care. I don't really care. Again, I don't do this to be believed. I do this because this is what I'm supposed to be here. Some people are born to become engineers for the purposes of this one lifetime. Others are born to become doctors. Others are born to flip burgers, whatever. I don't know, not to become chefs or cooks or whatever. This is what I was born to do, and that's the only reason why I'm doing. I'm not trying to start some cult. I don't care for cults or religions. I'm into science. I'm into philosophy. And if you will, also a certain degree of spirituality. But this channel is very much an anthroposophy channel, very much a convergence between science and what now people call the esoteric, which again to me doesn't exist, and it's only but the science that we don't yet know and that we don't yet practice. Having said this, I don't want to make this video too long, and so I will let you go and wish you a wonderful, wonderful week, whatever it is that you do. Let me know in the comment section what you think of all this, if you feel like you have something else to add, if you know about any book or paper that I should write to complement this information, or if you've had any experience, your own out-of-body experience or something that you may feel like could complement this. If you have questions, also drop them in. This week was incredibly busy, so I couldn't get back to the people who sent me these awesome comments after I went on Jeff and Mara, after I spoke to Jeff Reynolds from the Jeff and Mara podcast. But I really can't wait to get back to y'all. And I promise that over the course of this week, I will make the time to get back to every single one of you. It's just that last week was really quite heavy and I ended up having no time. And then I also forgot my computer charger at work. And I've been going through the entire weekend without it. I don't even know whether I'll be able to post this video today because of that. I don't know if I have enough battery. Anyway, that's the kind of week that I had. But I promise that over the course of this next one, I'll do my best to get back to you. So in case you have any questions, also do let me know. Have a wonderful week, everybody.